So why do primary languages keep failing in your school, and what can you do about it as a head teacher? My name is Will Lloyd. I'm a director at Primary Languages Network. I've got a decade of experience of training non-specialists and transforming schools from insecure and fragile to Ofsted ready and proud of their primary languages provision. And in this video, I'm going to share with you what I've learned in that decade so you can apply it yourself and maybe hopefully realize some of the pitfalls that you've potentially fallen into and the mistakes that you're doing. Does this sound familiar? You've bought a scheme, languages is definitely on the timetable, but you can't say with confidence where your year sixes are and what they actually know or do. And when your coordinator, or if they were to leave, you have the fear that it would all start over again. It would all collapse. The teachers are barely teaching by a thread here, and they're really struggling with it, and their coordinator is very much carrying the subject. Now, most head teachers blame the wrong things. They look at towards, when I speak to them, first of all, they're thinking about budget. We just don't have enough money to spend to train the teachers in order to get them to where they need to be. And when they do spend money, you don't see the impact that you'd like. So you sort of figure to yourself, I don't really want to have to keep pumping money at this. Teachers lack confidence, and that's the reason why languages is failing. And also not enough timetable time to make the progress that's required. Now, these definitely are pressures, but they aren't why languages fail. And actually, you're looking in the wrong direction. They certainly make the cracks bigger if the infrastructure is not correct, but they're not the reason why your languages is failing. Now, reason number one is that I spot the most is languages on paper only. So you've got a scheme of work in play. It's all written down, all the notes, all the files, all the folders. Teachers have documentation they can use to deliver, but it's not in practice. We aren't seeing it effectively working across your school. You sort of are relying on the scheme just through a name only. And maybe the coordinator or one or other two of teachers enjoy delivering it, but actually the rest of the teachers, they don't feel that engagement and support, and the kids aren't really making any progress. And this, obviously, the consequence of this is if Ofsted was to be chosen in a deep or shallow dive, you can't evidence the curriculum intent, and your quality of education judgment will be at risk if that's the case. We want to make sure as a head teacher that you're coordinating every subject properly. Reason number two is untrained teachers, and it's a statutory subject. So most primary teachers never studied a language beyond GCSE. And they're the ones that are delivering, we've noticed about 85% of teachers are non-specialist teachers in primary schools. So pronunciation is just guesswork, and there's no internal expertise to coach or model. And the consequence of that is staff turnover erodes what little knowledge exists. So languages becomes a subject nobody wants to teach or coordinate in most cases. It's a little bit like having the fancy gym equipment on your first day of training. You give them the scheme of work that everyone says is great, but if it's not fit for those teachers, they're not ready for that equipment. They're not ready for those tools yet. Also, languages always gets the bump. This is a big one, whether it's SATs prep, inclusion, EAL, SEN, it gets the bump. It gets bumped back to Friday, and then it's cancelled again for something else, and you're losing a lot of time there, and that is definitely a big reason why. So the fix isn't doing more. I want to get that clear right now. I don't want you to be thinking this is going to take thousands of hours of work. The teachers don't need hours and hours and hours of CPD and training to deliver good languages. It's just building the right system in the right order and accepting incremental progress over a period of time, and that is your fastest way to seeing the improvements you'd like to see. And this is the solution we've created, the Languages Momentum Method, and it follows 5 pillars in one direction, and it each builds on the last. So from left to right here, we have, first of all, stabilising the foundations, and I'm going to talk through each of these points, then building confident, consistent teaching, then making languages everyone's responsibility, then turning progress into evidence and simple systems, and then creating a languages culture to be proud of. And we want you to schools that work with us stay in step 5. A lot of people get stuck. They try to move up to steps 3 and 4, but because they haven't got stable enough steps 1 and 2, they just can't make that jump up. So it's really important that we do this in a step-by-step manner. A lot of schools as well try and do all 5 at once, We go all in on every point as opposed to focusing on the key fundamentals, the foundation, the cornerstone steps. And therefore, we just constantly are staying back. We fall down every time we make steps up, and it's not sustainable. So stabilising the foundations is stopping languages depending on one person and building a structure that holds. So that is making sure that your coordinator has set the subject up properly, has the right documentation, has created the right action plan. They have established really solid patterns of strategy that's going to enable, once we start progressing up through the steps, we don't fall back down again. They're also aware of pupil voice, staff confidence audit. They've done a diagnostic of their language, and they're clear on what they need to work on. So we describe it as them leading the subject, but not carrying it. And you'll see later how we help out with that. The second pillar is building confident, consistent teaching. So for any teacher, any class, a lesson they're proud of without being a specialist. And we have loads and loads of examples of teachers that have completely transformed with no to little experience, delivering really high quality results. And we provide video to teach. That's where we put the native virtual speaker on the video, short videos that they team teach with a non-specialist. And we now have proven evidence of over 5-6 years of them having great evidence of progress for teachers doing this. Making languages everyone's responsibility. So that's becoming a shared ownership model, not just the burden of one person. Now, pillar 3 only happens once you've got the first 2 pillars in place, though, because once the teachers start delivering lessons they feel confident of, they have more buy-in to it. If they're constantly fighting fires inside that lesson because they're worried about getting things wrong, pronouncing things incorrectly, they're not going to buy in. They're not going to have the shared ownership. But once you do, then all of a sudden they're up for doing an assessment. They'll help out on a languages special day. They will get language boosters or a games app equivalent embedded inside their class, and they'll start engaging in it more. They might use languages in the register in the corridor. So we start to really share that responsibility out so that your coordinator can lead the subject, not carry it. And those are 2 extremely different things. Pillar 4 is turning progress into evidence. And once you've got the first 3 pillars in place, progress starts to show itself. You don't need to go looking for it. The lessons will demonstrate fantastic progress. The displays that you choose to put up will show great progress. The action plans that the coordinator is writing will show strategic progress, which Ofsted want to see. They want to see where you've taken it from and to. And this is the beauty of your languages is failing right now, is you have such an easy win here. If you get the things right, you could really show great progress for yourself as SLT of you leading a subject from not very good to very good in quite a short space of time, 2 or 3 terms. And then step number 5 is where we get schools to and we keep them there, which is creating a languages culture to be proud of. So we're walking into your school and we can feel languages is happening. There's displays that are live and functioning. The kids use it in the corridors. We've got languages half days. Every teacher enjoys delivering it. We're showing great progress from year 3 to 6. And this is possible for any school, any budget. Okay, we don't need to achieve this. We can achieve this without added stress, without pumping loads of time onto all your staff, without having to hire a specialist teacher. This is all possible because we've seen it and we've helped schools do it ourselves. So this is what changes. It's not just a better provision, it's you become a different kind of school. You become the school where languages just works. Term after term, doesn't matter who's in the room. PPA, HLTA, non-specialist, specialist, whoever. You walk into a conversation about languages with other head teachers and you're the ones boasting about it. With governors, parents and Ofsted as well. With confidence, and you've got the evidence, you've got the papers, you've got the proof. And you have a school where teachers deliver languages without Sunday night dread. They're not thinking, oh my word, here we go again, we've got to do Spanish and we're doing extended sentences, I've got no idea how to teach it or pronounce this word, etc. That doesn't happen anymore. It becomes the subject where there's the least pressure and they enjoy delivering it. And languages becomes a strength you're proud of. Imagine that. Imagine actually having Spanish or French being that strength, that true strength. And it's not the gap that you hope nobody notices when they come and observe and chat and they boast about their languages and you can't say anything back. And we, like I say, we work with real schools and we get real results. Joanna Bayliss, Ofsted chose MFL for a deep dive. The HMI was French. They gave outstanding for quality of education. That is a set of non-specialist teachers that have been using us for 5 years now, but after 1 year, they'd seen the progress. Plymouth Grove Primary, staff confidence has really skyrocketed. It has transformed our teaching in Spanish. They've had one CPD session with me, that's it. And our teachers now love teaching a subject they previously hated. And we hear this loads. We've got so many different testimonials for this sort of proof. So which pillar is holding you back? Most schools are strong in some areas and fragile in others. If you don't know which pillar is weakest, you keep fixing the wrong thing. So it's really important that we've got 3 primary languages diagnostic tools, so you can get a lovely breakdown of a PDF of your primary languages provision, and it'll show you where your weak pillars are, those 5 pillars I've shown before. And you can get that. There's a link in the description or on the YouTube channel itself, or just comment and I'll send you the link if it's not there. But do you need somebody alongside you? We have the Primary Languages Momentum program, which starts in September, and it's a 3-term or 12-month done with you program where you get a kickoff call with me. We do diagnostic mentor reviews, and we set a bit of an action plan in play. We've got termly mentor sessions, and we have a whole bunch of training, guided pathway for your school and coordinator, the right whole school CPD, and we essentially take you from being fragile, insecure, frustrated, downbeat about your primary languages. So in 3 terms, you'll be in that pillar number 5, which is that languages culture you'll be proud of. And we do that with every school. That's our aim in 3 terms. So we want you to build primary languages to be proud of. We want you to stop being the head teacher who knows that languages needs fixing, become the one who fixed it. This happens in quick time, 2 to 3 terms. You can take all the credit. We'll give you the structure. We'll give you the correct system, and we'll give you the correct support with our collection of specialists and experts in the subject matter. But you take the credit, okay? That's what we want to happen.